We're just waiting for Teresa. Teresa's here.
Thanks a lot.
We can start now.
It's 7 o'clock.
All right, it's 7 a.m.
Yeah,
PM, yes.
feels like it.
All right, Scott, would you help us lead at the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next, agenda review. Special presentations, correspondence, superintendent, staff comment.
Yeah, good evening, everybody, and thanks so much for coming tonight. Web students from Bristol, we're so excited to have you. So as soon as I'm done, you guys are up next, okay? So thank you so much for coming tonight. I just wanted to, it hasn't been too long since we had our last meeting, but I just wanted to report on a couple of things that happened during that time. First of all, I love these drawings. They're on the wall, going out in the hallway at Cray from Mrs. Rob's fourth graders, so inspired by Tim Burton's work. So great job to those kids. I want to point out a special program that we're starting, and the person who is most responsible for getting it started, and that's our amazing Emily Richards, who's been working to create this teacher residency program where we'll be able to have teachers trained and get credentialed within our district and be able to offset the cost of what it costs for them to go through the program. So in essence, rather than paying for a program and coming and student teaching for a year for free, they'll get paid, they'll be subbing in the district, and that should offset the cost of their entire program. And hopefully we'll get St. Mary's out here. And so this was one of the meetings that I was able to go through at Ike Montañez one of the other nights that we were there. And so I just want to compliment her, and we're thrilled to have that program starting. On the 24th, there was an art show at the Brentwood Community Center, and this was put on by Rotary. It's their Rotary Youth Empowerment poster contest, and I got to go by and see some of the artwork. And so these were some of the ones I took pictures of. So this is Anita Kwang from Bristow, Eden Briselli from Edna Hill, and Kimberly Dennis and Colleen Pepito from Adams. And so just some really great work, very thoughtful that was there. And so I believe it's still up there for just a little while longer if you want to go take a look. The annual family carnival at Cray took place on the 25th. I'm always so impressed with all of the work that our parent-teacher organizations put into supporting activities for the kids at the schools, and then also raising funds for them as well. And so thanks to all of that they put into that. We had a new show at the Edna Hill Theater. So this was Mary Poppins Jr., and I want to congratulate Mrs. Yu Zan, who's out there. This was her very first show as the new Edna Hill drama teacher, so great job to her. Dr. Dow Jensen came out and helped participate in the Star Spangled Banner practice at Miss Gertis's third grade class in Brentwood, and so this is with Mr. Schneider helping them get ready. I want to thank Boy Scout Troop 90 who came out and installed a memorial bench in the memorial meadow there at Edna Hill Middle School for beloved teacher from MCB, Ceci Martinez, who passed away. So really, it's nice you can go out and see it there when you get a chance, but I appreciate them doing that. Speaking of parent clubs, so this is the brand new parent club at Ike Montañez. They had a trunk or treat event. You can see that they really sort of outdid themselves. So amazing trunks there. And thanks also for the Liberty students who came out and volunteered. And then also they put their fifth graders in charge of leading the games. So great opportunity, first annual thing. Wonderful night. I was able to visit for a little while. October 28th, Friday night, the special education department held an All Abilities family movie and pajama party. And there was even a volunteer who brought a photo booth out there to take pictures with families. And so it was a great event. And I really want to just thank everybody who made the effort to put that together. I also want to thank Bristow for honoring our Officer Bollinger, our school resource officer, on Happy National First Responder Day. And so he does a lot to support Bristow and all of our schools and making us feel safe. And they really like the stickers. So they want to mention that they keep wanting the stickers. At our next meeting, we'll have a new board member sitting here, and his name's Dr. Vic Thornhill, and he's pictured here with Principal Nick Casey and Vice Principal Julie France and a whole bunch of Ballet Folklorico dancers who came out to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month with Ron Elementary, and Dr. Thornhill was able to visit out there. This is also a great picture. So our third grade classes go out and visit the nail house. There's amazing volunteers that put in so much effort to make that local history program come alive out there, and they're always expanding it. But I got to go out and visit when one of the first third grade classes from his school was out there visiting for the first time. So thank him for making the effort, and really thank you to the volunteers at the Byron Nail House for all that they do for our students. I love this. I saw that's at Ron Nunn. So one of our occupational therapists, Marie, she was getting celebrated for Occupational Therapist Day. And so, but truly somebody who has an impact on lots of Ron Nunn students as well as other students across our district as well. So congratulations, Miss Marie, on that. I love this picture, the excitement. And so sometimes sixth grade basketball doesn't always have this feeling, but in this point, it did at this point. And so anyway, it's a great opportunity to thank all of the people who put an effort to coaching and making sure and refereeing to make sure that our students have this opportunity to play out there. Lots of joy in playing. And then Halloween, if you got to see some of our social media posts that Mrs. Clevin puts together, just some amazing costumes across the district and lots of fun on that Thursday if we celebrated. Lots of themed fun going through. And so these are just some of the pictures that I pulled out, and staffs that worked really hard to not only have fun but make it special for the students to see them playing. I was able to go by and see a couple of the parades, one at Guerin and one at Mary Casey Black, and they were both phenomenal. I didn't realize how much Mrs. Gonzalez at Mary Casey Black liked to dance and act until I saw her in the front of the parade. And then she got her new Vice Principal Marie out there dressed as Gru. So that was, and also dancing along. So nice work there. And here's just a few more. So great there. I love these pictures, but these are the first graders that did presentations on character and setting. And so they got to read one of their favorite books, and then they decorated a pumpkin to be like the character in a book. So they turned out phenomenal, right? So great job to them. And then we're celebrating some of our wonderful special educators, employees of the month. So Christine Gorshi-Olson from Marsh Creek, Guerin and Montañez, Araceli Cortez from Guerin, and Sally Ferrando from Mary Casey Black. So congratulations to them, and thanks for all that they put into our students. And then I love this. This was today. Is it Ira or Ira? Ira, thank you. Ira presented on the significance of Diwali to her classmates, and then so they got to ask her questions and showed her pictures. So I love that kids are able to share about their own cultures and their families and what they celebrate. And then just one reminder that's before we have our next meeting, there'll be the turkey trot for schools. If you're thinking of participating, you should sign up now because they're really they probably are going to sell out early on this one. So great community event. And I know Mr. Gursky, you'll be out there probably cooking hot dogs at 5 a.m. So thank you for doing that. And that is my report. So,
All right. Thank you for that report.
Yeah.
At this time, public is permitted to.
Oh, no, sorry. We're gonna go to Bristow next.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So I'd like to. I was just getting off. So I want to introduce Bristow's wonderful principal, Miss Anna Perales.
Hello, everyone. It's on. Oh, it was on. I also know how to work microphones. That's very exciting. Hello, everybody. Welcome this evening. Thank you so much for being here and for welcoming us to our meeting. So tonight, nothing gives me greater pleasure than to introduce students and staff members who really make our class or our campus what it is. And it's a welcoming place where students that feel that they belong. One of the ways that we achieve that is through our web program. And web at Bristow Middle School stands for Where Everybody Belongs. And it supports our LCAP goal of promoting culture and promoting learning where everybody belongs. And also looking at kind of embracing our diversity, our equity, and again, just making sure that everybody feels welcome at Bristow. Something that's unique about our program is that we are back after a hiatus. So this is our second full year of web back at Bristow. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our web advisor and coordinator, Miss Emily St. Pierre.
Hi, my name is Emily St. Pierre, and I teach web at Bristow. It's an 8th grade program, and as you've heard, it stands for Where Everybody Belongs. And the goal of this class is to take samplings of all different types of students and people from across the campus and bring them together into one class and one room where we can really create inclusion and really talk together about what it means to be welcoming and what it means to build a friendship, and then continue that on and bring that into other classes and bring that into other places, and also put on events where people can come and feel the welcoming and the inclusion in what we do. So web is also a place for positive role models. This is where students are looked up to as web leaders, and they create a kind of mentorship on campus. They run 6th grade orientation, and they build a lot of friendships and relationships with incoming 6th graders. And then on that very first day of school, they're in their web t-shirt again, welcoming people, walking them to their classes, and it just is such a positive impact, especially for the 6th graders, to see a friendly face, to have someone there that can help them on the first day of school.
Hi, I'm Charlotte, and I'm one of your web leaders for today. Web to me is a class where I can bond and make connections with 6th graders. I love web because I get to work with new 6th graders and welcome them to Bristow, a school that I fell in love with since I got here. We also put on the Halloween social, which is a very fun and great event, which is a big hit. But altogether, I love web and hope you can say the same. I'm very honored and grateful to be a part of web and be a role model, make our campus better. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Izzy. I'm another one of your web leaders here today. Part of why I love web is it's a great elective to meet new people and make friends. I've made so many connections with people I would have never thought of talking to. One of our events other than the Halloween social that we host is 6th grade orientation. We welcome in 6th graders by playing games with them, giving tours, and making them comfortable about going into middle school, as we know how scary that transition could be for some people. I'm so grateful that this elective exists, and I'm so honored to be a web leader to show my Bristow spirit.
Hi, my name is Cami, and one of the things I love about web is that it's a fun way to meet new people and make friendships. It is easy to share ideas and express ourselves, all while having fun. Web lets us help people with things they want and need. Everyone belongs and nobody is left out, which makes this elective so great and one of my favorites. Thank you.
Web is a year-long program that transitions into high school as well, with our link crew in the high schools. And the link crew helps to welcome the freshmen. So it's kind of a full circle in this in Brentwood. And so I just really appreciate that they can learn so many great skills in 8th grade, carry those into high school, and then choose to do leadership or be a link crew member. So as you know, I am the web teacher, and I coordinate our events, and I make sure that we are impacting the school in a positive way. From our student voices in our classes, we do a lot of work with team building at the start to make sure that people feel comfortable and safe in the classroom. And then we branch that out into other areas. We go into advisory classes and we run games, and that builds such a connection between all 3 grade levels that there are 8th graders that are able to come in and present and be in front of their peers and share information and be silly, and it really prepares them to be such excellent leaders in the long term. We also make sure that we're planning events that people can go to, because we want people to feel safe at school, to feel welcome at school, and to want to come back to come to events like the Halloween social and movie nights and things that promote students to come and get together of all different paths in life. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Alicia. I'm the parent of Charlotte, and I just wanted to be able to have a moment to share the impact that web has had on my daughter. She can be kind of shy and quiet, and this program has actually allowed her to get to be more confident in herself, to gain the ability to speak to others that maybe she would never speak to, and to gain that ability to be in the classroom, to feel comfortable to talk not only to her peers, but to also her teachers. Charlotte is also a student who has special needs. And so for her to have that confidence to not only be a leader in her school is really exciting. So for me, I think this program has given so much more back to her than just what she's giving back to the program. So thank you.
All right. So just as kind of tying it all together, our impact. So number of students saved in or served in 1 year. So we had over our 6th grade students. We had over 385 students at the beginning of the school year who went through our 6th grade orientation. And so we did that in kind of 2 different groups. We also welcome our new students to Bristow. And this is a really kind of like unsung amazing part of this program, because not only is it our 6th grade students, but every day we have new students. And every day I see our web leaders out there giving tours, making sure they're not kind of sitting alone at lunch, and just really connecting and making sure that they're feeling connected to campus. So I think the new student piece is absolutely a really key piece of this program. So far this year, approximately 20 students, but I think I might be underestimating on that one. Again, they do Welcome to Bristow, campus tour and review of our procedures. They have now a web buddy that they can check in. We do web activities and advisory, about 20 classes each week. And again, our Halloween social, we had over 600 students attend this year, and that's a pretty big deal for us. That was a lot of candy and a lot of sugar. Oh my goodness. They had a lot of fun. And these are just a few of our pictures from orientation. And something I didn't get to include for impact was we actually just concluded doing a culture and climate survey on our campus. And our students are largely reporting that they do feel that they belong on our campus. Yes, we've got some areas that we need to address, but they do feel safe and they do feel connected and they do feel that they have people that they can turn to on our campus. And I think that's a great thing. And that's in large part because of our web program. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time this evening. Thank you very much.
Thought it couldn't get any better.
On behalf of the Board of Education, I'd like to recognize and appreciate the web leaders who have presented this evening. Could I have Charlotte Lyons? Gabby Evans, and Izzy Wagner.
Well, you guys, you can see why I go first, because you would be a hard act to follow. So thank you for doing such a fantastic job and giving us a great insight into all the hard work that you do to make students feel comfortable. And so we really appreciate you coming, and you're more than welcome to stay for our meeting, but we also understand it's a school night. So if you need to go, that's also okay. Thank you again. Thank you.
My wine lady.
All right, at this time, the public is permitted to address the school board on items that are on the consent calendar, requests for future agenda items, and items that are not on the agenda.
I move that we open the public comment.
Geddes, followed by Brunette.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any cards?
No public comment.
I move that we close public comment.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. All right, 8, consent items, 8.0 to 8.4.
Anybody want anything pulled? I'll make a motion that we approve consent items 8.0 to 8.4.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. 9, hearings and appeals. There are none. 10, presentation reports and other action items. So the report out of closed session, 10.0, a majority of the board voted in closed session to reject NAC and Company claim number 250002-01. All right, next, 10.1, expulsion of student 09-2024-03.
I move that we approve the stipulated expulsion of student number 09-2024-03.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? All right, 10.2, board priority goal update, promote culture that supports learning.
We have our Director of Student Services, Kristen Job, and a Director of Special Education, Justine Melendez, that are here to present for you tonight, Board.
Okay. Well, hello again. Nice to see you all. And Justine and I are going to be talking about, trying to make sure we can see everything. So we're sharing our screens. We'll be talking about our behavior goal, our support of learning. Okay, so we're talking about a culture that supports learning, and what we're going to be talking about first are the action steps, and we're highlighting these specific actions that we've been working on this year and the ongoing actions that we're taking throughout our schools to ensure that we have a culture that supports learning. So the first area we're going to be talking about is developing and implementing district and site level culture and climate committees. So that's our first area that we'll be talking about. Then renovating our student study team process to make sure that we have something that is more aligned and efficient at all of our school sites. Increasing opportunities for parents and caregivers to be involved at our schools. That's really important to us and part of our goals. And also making sure we have evidence-based practices for behavior to support that at the schools. So the first area for Culture and Climate Committee is that we want to make sure we have them at a district level Culture and Climate Committee and then one at the school sites. So we met in spring and decided on what expectations we wanted to have at every single school. So the first thing is that we have a standing committee that meets regularly. That's really important to us. Also, we wanted to make sure that there were some kind of a PBIS or a social emotional component to that Culture and Climate Committee. We want to make sure we analyze discipline trends, practices, so that everyone was looking at what is happening on our sites. Is there certain times a day? Is there certain students? What are we doing to have other means of correction? Making sure that we're really taking a deep dive into what practices that we have at each school. And then actively promoting inclusion and belonging at our sites. So that is what we have as our 4 commitments for our culture and climate teams. And then in August, we looked at all of these pieces with our district team, with our site teams, and talked with our principals and made sure that those were included in our action plans that we review at every principal cabinet. We review them at our curriculum council. We review them at our administrative council. So we're constantly looking at them and making sure that we are really doing our most to make sure that we implement those practices.
And then another action step towards the goal is to refine and redefine the SST process, and we've made a lot of progress in this area. We established an SST development team in April, and then the team met in May with a company called Edgenuity, and they provide a platform that we considered using for the SST process. So they provide the forms for it, and then different data, student data, is funneled through it. So we get FastBridge data, IXL data, so state testing data. So it's a really great place to look at like student development over time because you have all those data sources. So we were embedding that as a potential vendor that we would use for the SST platform. So we decided to go with Edgenuity in May. We met at Principal's Cabinet and discussed really what an SST is and what it isn't and what we want it to be. And then in October, we had a great meeting. Kirsten, Michael, and I all met with the development team, and Michael had collected all of the SST processes from all of our sites because we want to have one process, right? So we collected all of them, and then Andrea in his department inventoried all of them and looked at all the common forms and all the themes, and then we looked at the summary inventory form at this meeting and decided what forms we wanted to move forward with, and so that we could meet again with Edgenuity and choose the forms, and then we know we can customize the forms. So it was really great. It was very productive, and it was very collaborative, and it was very needed. I think it's really validating because everybody feels good about the progress and feels like it's a meaningful task that's going to end up really pushing us forward. And this is something super near and dear to my heart. And you saw Dana talked about it in his superintendent's update. I feel really strongly about this. And I started these events last year in February. We had our first bowling event. So we call them All Abilities family events. And they are on Friday nights or Saturdays. And the purpose is for our students in our standalone classes, the mild mod and mod severe classes, who have speech delays, social delays, cognitive delays potentially, to be able to socialize and also bring their families and for their families to socialize and make friends. So these are our events for this year. We did a bowling one in August, and it was so successful. We had 11 lanes of Bolero, and they were full. So we had to double up families in the lanes. They love bowling. And PAL sponsors bowling. They paid for it, which is awesome. And then we just had the movie night. That wasn't super well attended, but we're just trying new things. So, but it was still really lovely. We watched Coco. I'm never going to have an event in October again because you're competing with every Halloween event that ever was. So bad month, but that's okay. Duly noted. But Kelsey Philly is our behaviorist. She's in the right. She has a photo booth business, and she brought that for free. And families could take pictures and print them out right there and take them home. Plus, you could send it to yourself, so later you could frame it or something. It was really cool. Another really fun part of this, so our next one's in December, and these are now in our multi-purpose rooms, so there's like no charge for that. And for this one, we just did pizza and snacks. But at our bowling event in August, I met a mom of a student with a disability, and she expressed interest in being a paraprofessional with us, and she is now employed at Garin and working for us. And then at the movie night, I met another mom who now is going to apply and be an aide. So it's really happening, and it's very exciting. Okay, you can go to the next one. These are parent trainings. So it's every other month we do something for parents. So parent training, then a family event, then parent training. So we did an AAC training in September. This month we're doing IEP overview for families, and the SELPA will coordinate with us. I'm kind of co-collaborating and presenting that one. Then we do transitions in January, and then April we haven't decided the theme yet. And then implementing evidence-based behavior supports and interventions at all the sites. We've made good progress on this. So we've implemented the consistent social emotional curriculum, which is second step for all the TK-8 students. We also use the TK grant to purchase something called Komochis. It's a social emotional curriculum for little people, and it uses like little characters that represent like parts of you, like this is hurt and this is happiness and this is anger. They're like different little characters, but they're very effective and it's very evidence-based. So we're kind of rolling that out right now. We provided PD on the 30th of October on the NCI verbal de-escalation strategies. That we've seen a lot, the third bullet is really, we've seen a lot of general ed TK students coming in who really struggle with knowing how to be in school appropriately. So their behavior is a little tricky. So our program specialist, Brooke Hill, is collaborating at Mary Casey Black with the behaviorist, and they're developing a toolkit for gen ed TK teachers on just like visual supports and reinforcement strategies and best practices for shaping behavior in a little person. We're doing a classified training series primarily focused on behavior for classified staff. So we picked all the last Wednesday of every month. We have 7 scheduled out for the year. They're all provided by behaviorist staff or our program specialist. And 3 of the 4 trainings are here at the DO. So it's an opportunity also for them to come in person and get to know each other and, kind of build the camaraderie. And then our department, the special ed department, we kind of formalized the process for receiving behavior support because we have really high level behavior support people like board certified behavior analysts and then school psychologists. So refining and defining allows you to access the support easier because you know where to go in at tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. So we'll continue to refine and define that part.
Okay, so then here's our data. The dashboard has not been updated yet with our suspension data. It should be out December 1st, so we are eagerly awaiting that. But right now, our goal is to reduce our suspensions by 0.5, so 0.5%, which would be going from 3.3% suspended overall for our whole district down to 2.8%. When students are suspended, if they've been suspended like more than one time, like maybe 3 or 4 times, they only count as one time ever, the way that the state takes that data. So right now, I just looked at our data today, we have 143 suspensions this year so far. We're only at, I think, day 61, if I'm correct. But so we are not halfway through the year yet. So we'd be on track to meet our goal at this point, but we need to, we're constantly finding ways to use other means of correction to support our students. That's something we've been really working towards, and all the things we've been doing with finding a culture that supports learning is to do that. So we would be on track to meet our goal, but it is a very lofty goal because that is not very many suspensions for over 10,000 students. This number from last year when we had the dashboard was 100 less students.
Yeah, if I could say one thing, just a quick thing, because Michael's not here, about how the dashboard reads is right. Because you see us at orange, that doesn't mean that's how we rank in the state versus other school districts with suspensions. We're actually much lower than most other districts. It has to do with the fact that in 23 we went up, and so part of the way they do that dashboard and that thing is you get marked down if you went up. Just so it's not a straight comparison to other districts. That's what I'm trying to say.
Can you clarify when you say suspension? Do you mean kids are sent home, stay at home, or are there also on-campus suspensions?
On-campus also counts the same as being sent home.
Okay.
So that's the way the state records that, is either way, it
And
counts.
do we break out those numbers to where we know the difference?
We can do that.
Just curious.
But the way that they characterize it, it's the same either way.
Thank you.
Yes.
So although our student population went up, which means we have more kids that we potentially would have to suspend, is that why we went up, or?
No, it went up just because the number of infractions changed. However, we'll see this next year where we're at. So it would be a percentage. So we'll just have to see what happens.
Thank you.
And then that's something that the culture and climate committees are doing, is looking at every single student and why they were suspended, what time of day, what was the issue, race, gender, all the pieces, because we want to make sure we get a full snapshot of what is happening on each campus and how we can support kids. So this is our goal, is to reduce, as I shared, to reduce the rate by 0.5 for this year. So we'll find out what our number is when we receive that information, and when Justine and I come back and share with the board our second piece in spring, we will have that information to share with you.
Just as a comment. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's no.
as a comment, I think this ties beautifully to the student presentation we just had too, because the need for a child to feel safe, to be included and belonging is so important, and you've expanded it to parents and special staff and all, and I think it really indicates a successful trend. Thank you.
Thank you.
I saw on there that you have karaoke in December.
Yeah, and you've never seen a special needs student sing karaoke, you have not lived.
Well, what I was going to say is not a lot of people know this, but Trustee Geddes doesn't mean New York, New York. So if you want to have
We
show
will
up in
send you a
December.
special invite.
Yeah, that one's at Edna Hill. Oh, wait, no, it's Craig. That one's at Craig.
All right.
Okay.
I'll remind them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any questions or other thoughts?
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
for that report. All right, next, 10.3, first reading of board policy, board bylaw administrative regulation exhibit.
Okay, board. So you have 7 new board policies that are law updates that are there that have been summarized for you. They're there for a first read, and they'll come back at the next meeting for approval unless there's any questions.
Very good.
Okay. Next, 11, board member comment, future agenda items.
Nothing.
Stop will report on CSBA.
Looking forward to it. Very nice. I'll let you know how that goes. You'll be there too, so maybe we can share that presentation.
Put together a PowerPoint.
I'm not sure why you guys had to come today for a half-hour meeting, but so be it. If you want, y'all can go home before we close it.
Do we want to call for a vote to close the meeting there?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, 12.0, the next regular board meeting will be held December 18th, 2024 at 6 p.m. 7:36.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fun in the sun.